Alright folks, this is to show you how to render MIDI files into an audio track. Now some of you might have an older PC or one that's not as fast as you would like it to be. And sometimes, like when you play VST instruments, like for instance, I'll play this, it's not plugged in, you'll not hear it. But you'll be able to, up here, right up here, that's my CP there. If we watch that, it's quite low, but when it gets to there, it shoots all the way up, man, what you see. That is actually a very, very hungry Halion Sonic. It's called Flux. It's just two notes. I'm playing two notes, holding them like wee long chords, and it's two notes, and the CPU in this goes mental. Now what you can do, you can go up to the, where is it, it's into the studio. See if you go to Cubase's help site, what a pain in the arse to find this. Even done a Google search, it kept saying, oh, go to the control panel, I've been into computers for 30 years. See, when anybody talks about the control panel, you always automatically think of Windows. Or do I go to Windows, for instance? That wee behind there, that's my control panel. That's your control panel. You go through that, you can't fun shit, man. Can't fun shit. When really all you want to do is to go to the studio, go down to the setup page, the studio setup page, and there it's there, in there. But you need to come down the side here, and you got your driver. Mine is the Yamaha driver. I'm using the Yamaha 44C. So I get into there, and look, lo and behold, control panel. Oh, thanks very much. You couldn't tell me that. What a pain in the arse that was. And seeing you click on there, you can actually get into there, into where it says the ISO. And you've got the buffer size. Now I could change the buffer size. This is the 6th song I'm working on. This is the first time I've used that Flux, and my computer's working, so I'm not going to about with it. I've already got mine set at 512 samples. So if you find problems where you can bring it down to, let's say, 300, 256, people say 256, and then you should see that there, that'll come down. That's what that is, right? But like I was saying, if you have an older computer, you might think, fucking hell, this is not doing what I wanted to do, man. It's no cutting the mustard. So what I used to do years ago on older 16-bit computer, we used to take VST instruments and then just render them into audio files. And that's what we're going to do here. And all you're going to do, now, this sound here, it's got a long tail on it, so when the last note plays, it just goes, and it finally fades out. Now, so the best thing to do is when you play it, listen to it and see how far it goes. On this one, it goes 4 bars and then it ends. So I'm going to stretch that 4 bars and I'll show you why. So all you do is click on the actual track, you get into edit, and then there's render in place. If we hit render in place, that will do exactly what I wanted to do. And it will render it with all the effects. But let's get into render settings. And the reason we want to go here, if we come down near the middle, it actually says properties, and it says tail mode. Now that's the tail mode that the length of the note's going to play out. So it's like going da 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 da, and then it just stops. But if you've got a song that goes da da da, so as soon as that note ends, you've got that so you need to calculate that. It's got it set for bars, or you can set it for seconds and all that, for seconds. And it's also got other settings in there. Do you want to render this? Blah, 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 yakety smack. I'm just going to leave that alone. And I'm going to leave everything there alone. And I'm just going to manually stretch that. You can see I've not stretched the note. I'm only stretching the 4 bars to that with nothing in it. And that represents the tail. So once we've done that, we'll get back into edit. And like I say, as we go to render, where are you, bugger? Render in place. Now it's the very top one, render with current settings. So all the effects and all that you've done, it will render that, or we can get into the settings. So I'm just going render in place, and it will, and this is what it does. It will give it a brand new audio track. And this one will be a stereo file, but you'll also notice it's muted, that one. It's muted the MIDI channel. So I'll play that for you there, right? And again, let's watch this bloody CPU. My CPU is normally, let's say, 10-15% or something like that. I've not really got much in this song. So as you can see, it's barely moving. Audio seems to handle very well. VST instruments, hungry CPUs, particularly the Flux is a wee pain in the arse. So there you go, that's already sent that there. But here's a wee something, I done this deliberately to show you. Look at the audio in there. Now the audio is quite low as an audio file. It's very low in the second track. And the reason is this. I've actually got this channel. Where is it? I need to click on, I'm looking at the audio. Let me click on the MIDI channel, right? Clicked on the MIDI channel so as we can see. Right, because that moves about. It's this channel here. So I've got it panned at 42. So that's why it's a lot louder on that side. And you can see the level is quite down. So what I think you should do is reset the level to 0. Bring the pan into the center. And then when you go to render that file, you'll end up with a stereo file. But both of the volumes will be the same and they'll be loud. And the reason for that is, it means that if you want to get back to the file and you want to, oh, I think I'll pan it to this side. Oh, or I think I'll bring the volume up. It means you're not bringing that low level volume up. Because you might have a sound that's got a bit of noise in it. And a VST it might have built-in noise, so therefore you're bringing up that ugly noise. So if you've got, let's say you've got a VST instrument and it's always let's say 1 decibel of noise, regardless of how much they pull the VST instrument up, it's always got that 1 decibel just sitting in the back. But if you record that at a low level and it's got a 1 decibel noise in the back of that, as soon as you start to pull that up, that decibel gets higher and it's more noticeable. So get the volumes up where you want them to be, and it should be all right. And like I says, there's a wee, you can see the wee tail in the sound there, whereas the note just finishes there. So that's two things there. You've got your studio there today with your buffer size. And again, just go to studio to tell them. I hate all these fucking try to find things, man. You end up funding them yourself. Go to studio setup, come down to your driver, which is right down here. Go to the control panel, and then there's your buffer size in there, and you're just going down into that. Like I say, I've got mine set at 512 and it works for me. And you saw it was working for me. It only didn't work for me for that sound, and it's the only time I've used that sound, and I don't know if I'll use that sound again. So I'm going to leave it. And I just done a wee experiment there, and I done that, and I could do that again and make it better, make it louder. So there you go. Sorry for wasting your time.